Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of the Crunch Time podcast, where you know we're going to come through in the clutch. My name is Trevor, and I'm joined by Brett. We're super excited to begin this podcast, and we hope to do weekly episodes every Wednesday. We'll mainly be talking about sports, but over time, we may expand our topics of discussion. Lastly, I run a YouTube channel called TC Films, where I post lots of sports videos, so be sure to go check that out and subscribe.
Yo, what is up, guys? It is Brett, aka Riverside the Great, and I've been rebranding my channel in these last couple months. Transitioned from making just mixes to breaking down trades and stuff. So, yeah, just like TC, I'm very excited to start this podcast. And without further ado, I say we get underway.
Yeah, so you want to get right into our first topic, which is the
Let's do
NBA
it.
trade deadline. So I wanted to start off by asking you, which team is your biggest winner and biggest loser of the trade deadline, and why?
Now, for my biggest winner, I have the Denver Nuggets. And first of all, they won the Aaron Gordon sweepstakes. They had to give up a first-round pick for him with Gary Harris, and he's going to be a good starter for them. And Millsap will move to the bench because of this. But I feel like they got all around. They got better as a team all around. They also got McGee from the Cleveland Cavaliers for cheap, which he's going to be a solid backup for Jokic. And I mean, if he ever goes down, McGee could be a quality starter too.
That's true. I didn't know they got McGee too. I thought he was still in the Cavaliers, to be honest.
That happened that was earlier on in the day.
Oh,
Like it
really?
wasn't close to
Okay.
the deadline. It wasn't like a last
Oh,
minute
I
one.
remember. No, I remember that was like the first trade I think I saw that day. It was like the first thing, like, and people were still waiting for stuff to happen.
Yeah, I think I
So,
was sitting in like history class or something when that happened.
oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah.
Who would you say is like the biggest loser of the trade deadline? Like maybe a team that needed to upgrade and didn't really get the deals done.
Now I have two for this actually,
Okay.
and number one I have the Raptors because their main goal was to get rid of Kyle Lowry, which they didn't accomplish. That's
Mhm.
pretty much it for that one. That's simple. And then I have the Houston Rockets as well. They gave up Oladipo for basically nothing. And if you didn't know, Oladipo was in the Harden trade earlier this season.
Right.
But what this does is it's going to give them a lot of cap space for this free agency. But I don't know if they're going to be able to track these big name players with their losing record.
Exactly.
All right, let's hear yours.
Okay. Well, actually, I didn't have a set winner and loser. I kind of outlined some trades that like I wanted to go over like in depth on.
Okay.
So, for the first trade, did you want to talk about Daniel Tice going to Chicago?
Oh man, don't even.
Celtics
Hey,
fan.
you see the hat? You see the
Sad.
hat?
Oh man, are you about to be a Bulls bandwagon now?
I wish. Dude, Tice was my guy.
Yeah, I get the move was to like clear cap because I think Evan Fournier or Fournier, however you pronounce it, he pushed us over the cap, like our luxury tax, and
Yeah,
so we
that's
had to
I
get
heard
rid
that
of
too.
someone. I wish we traded like Tristan Thompson though. I'm not gonna lie, because
Dude, I
Tice,
feel like he's the odd guy out.
yeah, that's
We can
true
get into that later, probably.
for sure. But I feel like Tice hustles and like he just had the basketball IQ and he was starting even developing like a 3-point shot too. But Thompson is physical, but he all he really does is just like a rebound for us. I don't know. He doesn't have like good interior defense like Tice did.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that was holding him back was just like his size with Tice.
Yeah, he is shorter than the average center.
Yeah,
But I mean, on the Bulls, he's gonna have that bench role again, kind of like when he came up with the Celtics, because
exactly.
obviously they just acquired Vucevic, who's going to be the starter.
That's true.
And I'm not sure the exact details of that trade, but I know Wendell Carter was involved, which I don't feel like he was that much to give up for the Bulls.
Oh yeah, it was like Wendell Carter and like 2 firsts or something. I think there was another player in there too. But yeah, honestly, they could be like a fringe playoff team. Do you think with Vucevic now?
I mean, yeah, they're maybe like a couple games out of a playoff spot right now,
Hmm.
but I feel like these guys can provide a lot of energy to the table. The one thing I'm worried about is their defending.
Oh yeah,
I
and
mean,
Vucevic
like,
is all offense.
yeah, hey, he's an all-star caliber center though. It's an
Yeah,
upgrade.
definitely. I'm trying to think. Maybe Tice was like the backup that can come in and kind of like defend for them though. It's like what they're hoping with that deal.
Yeah, I mean, like they already have like Thaddeus Young, right? He's like an all-around guy.
Yeah, he's like their sixth man, right? Like a big man. So yeah.
Yeah, takes the
So
pressure off of him a little bit with Tice.
yeah, that's true. In terms of like Bulls making the playoffs, like Do you think like they have the edge over teams like the Hawks or Pacers maybe that are also fringe playoff teams?
Man, that's a tough one because I'm not sure if the Bulls really have like that veteran leadership that they need to like
Exactly.
carry them into the playoffs. And I know that the Hawks actually just gave up Rondo to get Lou Williams, who's like that's a veteran leader for a veteran leader right there.
Yeah,
And I feel like the Hawks kind of have the advantage over the Bulls, and they are in a better place of standings right now too.
that's true. I'm trying to think because I know obviously like the Bucks and that 76ers, and I guess you could throw in the Heat are like four locks to make the playoffs. And I'm sure the Celtics will figure it out and also make the playoffs. And then you have, I'm not forgetting other teams, right? Oh, the Knicks, Hawks, Bulls
You got
are all
Charlotte in there too.
Pacers, Charlotte even. They're all
They're a
gonna be like
surprise.
borderline. And even hang on, who else? Obviously Pistons, Cavs are like out of it.
Yeah.
I feel like and Raptors will be like in that fringe playoff spot too.
I'm kind of confused as to like what their state is right now.
I know. I
They
think
made some questionable moves at the deadline.
I know they were hoping they cleared like roster space to take on a couple more players in like a Kyle Lowry trade. But I think their hope is to sign and trade him in the offseason because I know like he's probably gonna want to go like on another team or something because
Yeah, they're gonna want to get
rebuild.
something out of them, I guess.
I know it would have been cool to see like a big deal like that happen, but yeah,
It was still a really eventful deadline. I mean, there was like either 16 or 17 trades that went down,
I know. I feel
most in
like
like recent history.
yeah, I feel like it's never like this busy on the trade deadline. Like I don't really remember that many mid-season trades happening. Like I remember way back in was like 2016, the Celtics traded for Isaiah Thomas, and that was a big thing, and ended up like helping us so much. Like we easily won that trade.
Yeah, that was doozy right there. I mean, I don't even know what Phoenix got in return.
I know. I hope like Isaiah Thomas. This is a random tangent, but I hope Isaiah Thomas can come back in the league and play. Like he deserves a spot, even on the
It
bench.
would be good to see him get back into the swing of things.
Like
He's
inspiration.
such a likable player.
Exactly. Just like a fun guy. Speaking about Celtics players, do you want to talk about the Fournier trade?
Oh yeah, here I'll go ahead. So, I mean, I like that trade, and I think it's going to look a lot better if they can re-sign him this offseason because he is on an expiring deal.
Right.
And I think he's an upgrade. Like, I mean, you'll have him in the corner, obviously, for like when Brown and Tatum drive the basket. He'll be the guy that they can kick out to, and he can knock those shots down.
Right. That's what I
What do you think about
noticed
that?
too. Because like I feel like one of the issues was with the Celtics is like their like fluency and just like playing basketball. It's kind of like there's no like connection. I feel like between Tatum and Brown. Where it's
Yeah,
just is this going to be a Tatum play or Brown play? Like who's going to drive? Who's going to shoot? And then even if they drive in, it's like they don't trust their teammates almost. Like they'll have like Semi or Pritchard out there, and they won't want to pass out because they'll just like they'd rather take like a tough 2 point shot for themselves and have like their teammate take an open three. I think just like they got to build up trust with their teammates. But I think the Celtics did win the trade for Fournier. Like they gave what 2 second round picks. Like I feel like
2 second-round picks and Jeff Teague, who they waived instantly.
yeah they got rid of
Hey,
T.
y'all on Twitter know I'm a Jeff Teague fan club, former.
Yeah, former nuts Taco Fall.
Yeah,
So now now with Tice and like Teague being gone too, and even Javante Green, like I wonder how like the Celtics like minutes will be spread out and like how the rotations are gonna look. Cause obviously you Kemba, Smart, Brown, Tatum, Rob Williams are gonna and Fournier are like locks to get minutes. But then you have guys like Pritchard, Neesmith, uh
yeah, it's gonna be
Grant
weird.
Williams, Ojale. Like who's gonna is Rob gonna start? Is Thompson gonna start? Like I don't know. Grant Williams gonna be like a small ball five. Like I don't know if he's still trying to do Rob Williams under minutes restriction. What do you think
I
about that?
mean, I kind of like Rob off the bench. I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like just when he gets subbed in, like the energy that he brings to the table can like win
True.
games. But I mean, is he better than Thompson in the starting five? Like Thompson's been out for a while, and
Yeah,
maybe
I
when he
don't
gets
know.
back, I mean, you kind of put him on the bench just to get him back into the swing of things.
That's true. I know like Rob has like the knee issues that he like, can't play like super high minutes, but I agree. Like having him just knowing you have someone come off the bench that has like the energy kind of and can like get you a few baskets is like super helpful. But maybe they'll start Rob Williams now that like Fournier is he'll probably come off the bench unless he's like a shooting guard small forward, right?
Mm-hmm, correct.
maybe Smart will come off the bench then, and they'll start Fournier. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Well,
like Smart off the bench too. I mean, just
yeah.
same reason for Rob Williams, just the energy that he provides.
And probably just like the mental, like going into the game, just knowing you're coming off the bench. Like it's not like you're starting right away. Like Smart was probably just used to that. It's like honestly, I feel like Kemba, Fournier, Brown, Tatum, Rob Williams, we are a new starter. But how do you think like the minutes between the rest of the players will get kind of like dispersed? Because you got like Pritchard, Ojale, Neesmith,
Yeah, I'm
Carson.
gonna be honest. I have no idea how any of those guys are gonna get involved. There's so many names out there that could
Yeah.
possibly get minutes, and I don't know. I mean, Semi just got hurt, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's out for like a few games, maybe.
So we'll have to see how he gets put back into place once
Yeah,
he
'cause
can return.
he was definitely one of our most like solid bench pieces, like a 3-and-D player. But I'm just trying to think, like, obviously, Pritchard and Ojale, when he's healthy, will get minutes, and Thompson like has to get minutes because he's like our only other big man. I mean, unless you count Grant Williams, and I'm
Oh,
sure
I don't
Grant
even want to
Williams.
say his name.
Oh, you hate Grant Williams.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I'm trying to think though, because I maybe because Romeo Langford's coming back, maybe this like opens the door for these like younger guys to get more of an opportunity with like Teague and Javonte Green and Tice leaving, and then we
Hey,
got
Romeo could be the piece right there. He could be the missing piece.
I know, like hopefully, even if he averages like 5, like another solid bench piece, like to have.
Yep. Team depth is key.
Yeah, for sure. Like another thing I wanted to talk about too is like what do the Celtics need to do to make a legit playoff run? Because like you can tell right now they're lacking a player like Hayward, who they lost last offseason, even Wanamaker, who was like a solid like backup point guard who you knew could come in and at least like handle the ball well and play some solid defense. You know what I mean? I think just we had some stability with him. I just don't know like what we're lacking right now. And I know we have like a limited like amount of talent, but like with our team right now, like is there anything you think we can improve upon?
I mean, once we get like a couple wins under our belt, like hopefully the momentum just keeps coming and coming. But I mean, you got to get those wins first. So it's like, I mean, just bringing the energy to the table. And I mean, I think Fournier can become like the new type of Gordon Hayward type of player, if you will.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Uh, yeah, I mean, we are the 8th seed right now, right?
I think, or we might be out of the
Dude,
playoff.
that's
I don't know. I just know we're worse than the
it's
Hawks
tight.
and Knicks. It's bad. I'm gonna pull up
What
the
do you think about
standings real
that?
quick. It's kind of bad to see like we're this far into the standings and we're not in the playoffs. So let me pull up the standings right now. Oh, we're this far in the season. Oh, we are the 8th seed. You're right. Okay, so we got 76ers in first, then Bucks, then Nets. Hornets are the 4th seed.
Okay, that's the
Wow.
surprise team of the year right there.
But
I mean,
also,
look who's after them though, the Knicks, huh?
yeah, but it's also like the Bulls are the 10th seed and they're 3 games back. So like things can change like that. There's
Yeah,
there's a game and a half separating the 4 and 8 seed as well, which is the Celtics. So you have Hornets, Knicks, Hawks, Heat, Celtics, Pacers, Bulls, Raptors. Okay, I think yeah, the Wizards and Magic I was forgetting, but they're definitely out of it. But I think the first 3 teams are locks, and then honestly, and I think I don't know, the Heat have been struggling recently, but I think with Oladipo, they'll be a lock to make the playoffs, and then Celtics. But then it's between Hornets, Knicks, Hawks, Pacers, Bulls, Raptors to grab like the final 3 spots. I know they have like the play-in tournament now.
yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
I think it's like the 9th and 10th seed, or the 8th and 9th seed, like do like a best of 3 or something to get in, which is like kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, I
I
like
just
that
really
honestly.
wonder, like I don't also like
Kind
the
of brings like a March Madness type of feel to the
yeah,
building.
yeah, that's true. I like that. But that also made me wonder like what the Pacers are like doing. I just feel like they've been so like mediocre for so many years, like just a first round, second round exit. Sorry.
I mean, TJ Warren, he's out for the year. I heard that the other day, and he was like a huge piece to their success.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But I mean, hey, they got my guy McConnell.
Oh
That's
yeah.
my guy right there. He's a local, but he's good off the bench. I mean, Brogdon's the starter, but I don't really know what they're lacking, to be honest.
I know. It's like they
Like, I
got
just
like
don't think they're as competitive as the other teams above them.
true. It's just like they have like Miles Turner, Sabonis, like Brogdon and Sabonis are a good duo to lead. And they got like a interior defender and Turner. I don't know, like Levert, I think Levert will definitely help them now that he's back. but I just don't know like what they need. Like I feel like they just need like a superstar. Like they don't have a superstar is what they're lacking. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, true.
they don't have like
I
a
mean,
top 15 player.
look at the teams in the West though. Like, look at the first two seeds,
That's-
Jazz and Suns. Those are two of the most balanced teams I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
Like,
like Chris Paul is their leader, like off the court, but like I mean, on the court, I guess he is too. But it's weird. This is like one of the most competitive like leagues I've ever seen.
I know. I think like maybe the Pacers are in a position like the Suns where it's like they're just lacking that one kind of player that can gel them all together. You know what I mean? Like the Suns were one of the worst teams. They finally like got it together in the bubble, and
Yep.
then like you see just having Chris Paul. I mean, they had added Jay Crowder too, but especially Chris Paul. Like how much of a change? Like look at their 29-14 sitting in the second seed above teams like the Clippers and Lakers. I know the Lakers have been like dealing with injuries, but still, like to be this far into the season, still the 2 seed is pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. And then how about Utah? Like, what do you feel about them?
Honestly, they have like you're right, like you said this before, but they have a good balance. And I don't know, like part of me just thinks I don't see them staying in the 1 seed. Like I think the Lakers have been coasting all season because they're just kind of like resting because they know they can like play their best in the playoffs. Like they're kind of just banking on doing well there. But I don't know because I mean maybe they could squeak by, but I could even see the Clippers like making a run for the 1 seed or even the Nuggets. I mean the Nuggets are 6.5 back. The Trailblazers are all 6.5 back. The Trailblazers could be really good. We can get more into the other trades later, but um, what do you think? Do you think they're gonna stay as a 1 seed?
I mean, it's going to be a tight race, but honestly, if they can just keep up the momentum, I think they can pull it off. I mean, you
Yeah.
got like you said, the Lakers. They're kind of slumping right now, obviously without LeBron and AD.
Mhm.
But I feel like their biggest competitor for that one seed is honestly Phoenix.
You think so?
hmm
I
But
feel
then
like
come playoff time, like I don't know how are those teams going to fall apart, or what do you think?
I think the Lakers like LeBron's just always on in the playoffs. I mean, like 95% of the time, like he's like the guy you want on your team. But I don't know if the Lakers are just trying to. I mean, who knows how like the injuries are gonna affect LeBron and AD? Like, is Davis gonna be like on a minutes restriction? Like, is he gonna be fully healthy? Like, truly fully healthy? Even if he's back and playing, like, is he gonna be his full self come playoff time? Is what I'm wondering. But
I
I
don't think they
guess
have like that supporting cast after the two of them.
exactly like Schroeder and I don't know Kuzma, Caruso. I
I
mean, I've
mean,
heard they're in the what is it like the buyout sweepstakes for Drummond, which could
yeah,
help
yeah, I heard
them.
that too. I mean, the Lakers teams like that, they're in contention for everything.
That's true.
Teams like the Lakers, Nets, Miami's, they're in contention for Aldridge. I heard.
Oh yeah, yeah, I heard that too. I think Aldridge is like prioritizing going to the Heat. I think, or the Heat are prioritizing like signing him, and I feel like the Lakers or Nets will get Drummond too. I don't know though, because Drummond is such like a I don't know, it's like polarized, but like in a way because he's like one of the worst like defenders in the league. Like people see the rebounding stats are like, oh my god, like look at him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He can't guard anyone. If you look, he doesn't know how to position himself. And then he shoots like 45% just like from around like the hoop. I feel like that's why he gets so many rebounds. He just puts it up, misses, like keeps putting it up too. And it's like so
Oh
he's
yeah, his offensive rebounding stats have to be insane.
yeah, he's like a guaranteed like double double every night. But it just I don't really know like where he fits because it's almost like he's like the best. I don't want to call him useless because like some teams could use him, but like you know what I mean? Like the best
Like
player,
not impactful.
yeah, the best non-impactful player. Like I'm trying to think of another example right now. I don't know. Okay, this sounds bad. Like I don't want to say Kemba Walker because like or D'Angelo Russell, like because they're the type of players where it's like if they're not scoring, they're not really helping you because they're not like the playmaker types. And this isn't like obviously Kemba's like above D'Angelo Russell, and Kemba has like great leadership, and like he like he's been on recently, so I'm not gonna like blame Kemba, but I think like just a player like D'Angelo Russell where it's like he can't really defend and it's like if his shots aren't falling, like he's not doing anything to help you because he's not the type to like say like a I don't know Ben Simmons or Trey Young even like if their shots aren't falling, Like they
Darren
can,
Helvin.
yeah, they'll get the teammates like options like for shots and like they'll pass the ball a lot. You know what I mean? Just
Hmm.
players like that can still help you out in other ways. Like Jimmy Butler's like a perfect example of that too. Like he could score like 5 points, but he'll like be a great leader and like he'll make a clutch basket or he'll make the passes like needed to score.
I'll give you someone who I think is unimpactful in a way.
Oh God.
Grant Williams.
Oh. Okay, I'm
All right,
talking
this
like.
this begins the Grant Williams segment.
All right,
No, I'm
transition.
kidding. Don't even do it. He doesn't even get the minutes to deserve
Yeah,
being in
that's
this
what I was
conversation.
saying. I feel like you could pick apart any bench player on a team and be like, he's almost useless. But no, I know what you mean. Honestly, Grant Williams, like I'm always gonna remember his clutch defense in Game 7 on Fred VanVleet on that like last shot against the Raptors. That
Yeah,
series was awesome. And
dude, that was
also,
one of the best series.
I just want to make a point. Marcus Smart's block in Game 7 on Norman Powell is so underrated. Like I feel like no one
I
talks
know.
about that. Like
No
that.
one. Yeah, I don't hear anyone talking about that. Like that was
Like
such a clutch block.
exactly. It's like gotta be one of the most like clutch blocks in NBA history. Like it's Game 7, a minute left. I think it was like tied or we were up 2 at that point. It's like how does no one talk about that? Like that's just you can't get more like clutch than that. I mean, I guess like the last 5 seconds, but kind of like
Yeah.
LeBron's block. It's like similar to LeBron's block, but in the finals. Like
Hmm.
it's that LeBron's in the final, so obviously it means a lot more, but still, like it was super clutch. I don't know, underrated. That's all I gotta say.
I agree with that. Hey, speaking of Grant Williams, though, since we're on the subject, he did miss 2 free throws at the end of that game, correct?
Yeah, I know. His free throw shooting's like 50%. So, like teams will. I don't know why we have him at the end of games when people are trying to foul us because he misses a lot.
Yeah, Brad's end of the game rotations, they're kind of weird sometimes.
I know. Like you gotta have Kemba, Brown, Tatum, or Locks, and honestly, based on the team, I guess you're facing, we could have had Tice or Rob Williams. And then Smart, I guess, should be at the end. People were mad at Smart after the Bucks game the other night.
Oh yeah,
When
he's
Tyson,
kind of sold because of his shooting, is what they were saying.
but also I don't know. I felt like he
But
was
they don't
just
see what he brings to the defensive end of the table.
yeah. I feel like people just see like him miss a shot and they're like, oh, this guy's awful. Like trade him. Like people were literally like trade smart. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like
Yeah, he's
he's
such
our
an
leader.
impactful player. They don't get it.
I read this morning that he held like a team player meeting to like kind of figure out. He's like, what do we want to be remembered for this season? Kind of like trying to motivate the players and figure out like kind of get into their heads that like we need to like really get this together. Like it's getting almost playoff time. I mean, somewhat close to playoff time, but still, like we don't want to have a losing record. Like we literally have a losing record. We're 21 and 23, I think, at the moment.
Mhm.
But that we put up a good fight. We were down 25, and I was like, dude, my heart was racing at the end of the game. I was so excited. I was like, we're gonna win this. Like we're gonna pull this out. And if Tice hit that three,
Oh my.
you think he would have got traded? Like,
Honestly, I think that if he hit that shot, he's still a Celtic as we're speaking.
because I feel like it's so hard to trade someone after that. I mean, I know they traded Isaiah Thomas way back after he had that insane playoff run where his sister like passed away too, which is just like he showed a lot of heart in that playoff run. But I'm
I
just
mean, they
yeah,
thought Kyrie was like the greatest thing, though, huh?
I know, dude. Just the fact that we had Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward, Tatum Brown, Horford all on the same
Yeah,
team.
and look at them all this season, all on their new teams, balling out.
I know, and to think like there could have been a way we could have made Kyrie work. Like there has to have been a way. Like we legit be like a one seed right now. If imagine this: Kyrie, Brown, Tatum, Hayward, and Horford are starting five, right? Then we
Hmm.
have like Smart. You could have Rob Williams off the bench, Ojale. Who else do we
Dude.
have? We used to have like Marcus Morris, who was good.
Oh yeah, he was the LeBron stopper.
Yeah, no, but
The memories.
I just remember the chemistry issues we had because it was sort of like I think Brown and Tatum maybe wanted bigger roles, and then Marcus Morris was kind of like know your place, and then people were complaining about Kyrie being too ball dominant. I don't really know. I
Yeah.
think it just got like kind of blown out of proportion, but it was just like, we had such a
I
good team.
mean, it doesn't seem like we have any of those issues like on today's team, honestly. Like I saw some rumors out there that was saying like Tristan Thompson is like a locker room cancer, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually saw Jalen Brown reply to that tweet with like the cap emoji. It's
Yeah, I saw
basically
that.
denying all the rumors.
I
So
mean,
I mean, it's
yeah,
good to see the guys like bonding like that now. I mean, obviously we
exactly.
didn't have that a couple years ago.
That's true. And Kemba even like said his piece on that. He said like, "Oh, we love TT," like Tristan Thompson, in a tweet too. Um, what else was I gonna say about that? Oh yeah, I think like last season was like a good example of where we had good chemistry, except in the Heat series, it kind of like fell apart. But we had like good chemistry between the players. Like Kemba was playing well, and sort of everyone knew their role. And when Tatum emerged, like it kind of just fit in perfectly with Kemba like being out for times, and and Brown really stepped up his game. Like we had a good team last season. It was just like, oh, we are just like one small piece away, even with Hayward in there. We are just one small piece away from like a championship. And to think we were what were we, 2 games away from making the finals against the Lakers. And I feel like teams would have looked at the Celtics a lot more seriously. Just if we had beat the Heat in that series, like I feel like I stressed this a lot last season that we're not going to get like that good of an opportunity to make the finals like that with the Bucks out, with the Nets not having Kevin Durant, just in our Heat being the biggest competition, or I mean the Heat being the biggest competition. I just feel like that was a prime opportunity to make the finals and kind of like maybe if we even stole a game or two from the Lakers, like we like Tatum and Brown could really prove themselves in the league, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, yeah, you don't know how long our championship window is going to be open now after last season,
Exactly.
because I mean the Sixers got a lot more competitive this year. The Bucks are the Bucks, and then the Nets with all their acquisitions. It's a tough conference, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. The thing is too is we have plenty of time, but also like Tatum is 23 now. Actually, no, he's 19. He's 19 now.
He's 19, yeah, correct.
Yeah, Tatum is 19. Brown is 24. Like Rob Williams, super young. Smart's still only like 27, maybe 28, maybe something around there, but still like somewhat young. Thing is, like Tatum and Brown are good enough to win now, and like they want the piece around them to win now. You know what I mean? Like Fournier is gonna help, but I just think like it's just weird because we have so many young guys, and it's too bad we couldn't like package like Grant and Carson or even like Romeo together to get like another solid piece like Fournier. Like I'm just thinking like there's so many players out there. Like we could have traded like Norman Powell. We could have got. I know we were like looking to get Aaron Gordon
Yeah, dude,
too.
imagine if he was included in the Fournier trade.
I know that would have been nice, but we
We would
definitely
have
had to
probably
give
had to give up more. Mm-hmm.
probably Neesmith, I bet, or looking at our roster, I don't know who else we would have given up, but yeah. Another low key trade that happened. Speaking of like Celtics players again, was Wanamaker getting traded to the Hornets. I'm
Oh
guessing
yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
he's gonna come off the bench. I don't know why they need another point guard because they had Lamelo, Devontae Graham, and Rozier already. So I guess like with Graham and Rozier starting, maybe he's like their backup point guard. Is my guess.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I think I was talking about this earlier, like teams and their veteran leaders,
Hmm.
and I guess that's what Wanamaker is kind of going to be for the Hornets. I mean, they
That's a
already
good
have
point.
like a couple older guys like Biombo and Hayward, I think.
Yeah,
But I mean, like for your point guard,
I agree. It's definitely
like
good
it's
to
always
have
nice to
him.
have a veteran leader.
Right. That's like I feel like Kemba's kind of doing for the Celtics right now, like helping mentor the younger guys. But speaking about Kemba, what do you think the Celtics should do with him? Because there were rumors he could have got traded at this trade deadline, and now it's saying if they want to clear a bunch of cap, they could trade him this off season potentially. And I'm not opposed to like a Kemba for Lonzo deal if we get like a little bit more as well, because he fits our timeline. I don't know. I don't know if the Pelicans are willing to trade Lonzo, but like what do you think the Celtics should do with Kemba?
All right, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of y'all are gonna come at me for this, but wherever Kemba goes is where I'm going. That's all I
Wow.
gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
You're gonna leave the Celtics now? Oh, that hurts me.
Dude, Kemba's the reason I'm a Celtics fan, for those of you that don't know. And it's just seeing the way he's been playing this time of the year. I mean, like he's inconsistent and stuff, but wherever he goes, I'm gonna support him.
Hmm.
And I hope that the Celtics could get at least something in return for him, like a couple first round picks, maybe like another solid point guard just to replace him.
Yeah, it's just the thing is contract is like so expensive too, and just like eating away at our cap. And I think honestly, like a younger player that we could sign for like a max deal could be like a lot more useful, I guess, to our team at this point in time. I don't know. He's also like a big reason why like we play well in some games. Like you saw the Bucks comeback was like pretty much led by Kemba, who was just unstoppable. I don't know though. It's just a tough situation because like I think we have him for 2 more years, but we could trade him. I don't know like how teams are going to value him. Like his value is at his lowest right now, so it kind of makes sense we didn't trade him. So like hopefully, even if we have a good playoff run and Kemba's playing well, maybe they might take advantage of a high value and trade him. I don't know. I don't want you to leave the Celtics fan base though. I feel like
Hey,
you've been taken in as a part of the community. It's gonna be sad.
yeah. Hey, if it happens, I mean, I'm still gonna follow the Celtics regardless.
Yeah.
Like they've been a huge piece of these last couple of years, like
Mhm.
what I've been doing in my free time,
I
and
think you'll
I've
still root for
dedicated a
them,
lot of hours into watching their games and whatnot.
right? Do you think you'll still root for them at all after Kemba leaves?
Yeah, I do because I mean, if the Hornets are on TV, I'm still gonna root for them because that's the reason why I'm here right now.
Hmm.
Kemba obviously used to play there, and yeah, I still like seeing my old teams do well.
Yeah,
I'm a
that's fair.
bandwagon. Call me out. Don't care.
Yeah, bandwagon. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so kind of on this topic, I guess, of next off season. Where do you think the Celtics go after the season? Like, what moves should they make? I mean,
Man,
it
it's
could
hard to
be
predict.
including Kemba, not including Kemba. Like, if you were the GM, if you were in Danny Ainge's shoes, and you have all these people yelling at you, like, "Oh, fire Ainge" and all this stuff. Like, what are you doing? You're under pressure. Like, what are you doing to like get the Celtics to back to that like finals contender like tier?
I mean, you got a lot of like young talent on the bench, so if you can trade some of those guys and get like maybe just like a solid like maybe like just package all your bench players together for like a super bench player, if you know what I'm saying.
That's fair.
I'm not
What
sure who's out there this free agency. I'm not sure like what contracts are expiring and whatnot. I'm not sure like who teams have up for trade, but we'll just have to see. Take it one step at a time.
what's a player if you were the Celtics like would you go out for right now or just in the off season?
That's a tough one. I know he just got traded, but if the Nuggets fail this season, if Aaron Gordon becomes available, then I would try to get him second time's the charm.
You think so?
If the Nuggets do fail to make a late playoff push here, I don't know
That's
if
true.
they'd try to like profit off of him or what.
I know. I think the Nuggets are definitely gonna make the playoffs, but I just don't know. I mean, maybe Aaron Gordon is really the next like player. Like, do you think they're gonna be like hurt by losing Gary Harris after all these years?
I mean, yeah, he was a big part of their success, but I mean, I think they'll fix right away.
So
They
they,
still got like a couple solid pieces coming off the bench.
yeah, they have Murray, and then obviously Jokic starting at center, Gordon, uh,
Porter Jr.
oh Porter Jr. like small forward, right? And then who
Mm-hmm.
would their shooting guard be again?
Probably Will Barton,
Oh, that's true. That's like a good starting five.
and then you got Millsap off the bench now because of all this madness that happened.
I know. I
He's an
think
old head though.
yeah, but he's like a solid defensive and like high IQ player too, that can help any team. Like he could have helped the Celtics this year, to be honest.
Yeah,
I was
low
thinking
key.
we signed him. Another team that I feel like is in the tier of the Nuggets is the Trailblazers, and they upgraded. They got Norman Powell for Gary Trent Jr. and Rodney Hood. Like, do you think this pushes them to like a top 4 seed now?
It's hard to say because I mean you got the Lakers above them, right?
Yeah,
And
Lakers. Yeah,
we really don't know like the severity of LeBron and AD's injuries yet. But if they do end up being this severe, then I mean I think the Trailblazers could jump them in the standings. Then you got other teams up there like the Clippers, who I'm not really sure about the Clippers. I don't know if they have sights of slowing down or what. But I
exactly.
mean, if teams start slumping, then the Blazers can pass them up. What do you think about that?
No, I think the Trailblazers like I'm usually pretty high on them because I really like Damian Lillard and I want to see him like win a championship at some point. But the fact that they're the 6th seed right now and they've had all these injuries, like McCollum's been out almost the whole season, Nurkic is out.
Oh,
Just
he just returned, didn't he? Both of them.
McCollum, yeah, both of them did, I think. But just to be able
That
to
could be
take
key.
them, what?
That could be key.
I know, yeah, for sure. I just think I think they're gonna finish the top 4 seed. I feel like it's gonna be I don't know why, dude. I just see the Jazz kind of like falling late in the season. Like I feel like they rode the hype train a little bit, and then like they're not going to be bad by any means. They're just going to like slide a little bit. I think it's going to be like Lakers, Clippers, Suns, Trailblazers, the top 4 seeds, because now they have McCollum, they have Norman Powell, they have Robert Covington. Now they'll have like Derrick Jones Jr. off the bench, Carmelo, and it stinks giving up Gary Trent because he filled in like nicely. Like the Raptors shouldn't be like sad about their return because Gary Trent Jr. is like a solid player, and Rodney Hood even another good player. Yeah.
Oh, how about this? What do you think about people on Twitter comparing the current Utah Jazz to the 2015 Atlanta Hawks?
I like that comparison honestly because it's sort of I'm trying to think. The Hawks didn't really have a superstar. I think Donovan Mitchell is somewhat like you could almost throw him in that superstar category. He's like very borderline superstar. I don't know what you consider him, but
Yeah, it's
I
tough.
like that comparison, but I just think Mitchell is a little better than any player on the 2015 Hawks, but it's definitely a good comparison because it's like there's no super standout player like a LeBron or Kawhi or Giannis that stands out for them. There's no like top 10 player, but they're just like built off a few like solid players like Bogdanovich and Conley as well and Gobert.
Yeah, I mean they're like one of the most balanced teams I've ever seen. I mean, you got the Suns right behind them too, who are also that way.
Yeah, I don't know why though. I just feel like they have to slump at like some point. I mean, I know they've been slumping a little bit recently, but I think they have to slump at some point just to I don't know, because not every team can stay hot the whole season, you know.
Yeah, I mean, injuries are just a part of the process. I mean, we see
Exactly.
that with the Celtics. I mean, Romeo Langford hasn't played in a game this season.
That's true. And I guess come playoff time, it really just comes down to who's like hot and who's not. Like you see the Miami Heat last season were hot at the perfect
Well, they
time.
got hot at the right time. You're correct on that.
And Jimmy Butler like established himself as one of the best leaders and teammates in the NBA too. So speaking of like Powell and the Raptors as well, with the Raptors like not trading Kyle Lowry, what direction like do you think they're heading? Because they have the pieces, but like what are they missing, and what's an ideal return you could see for Kyle Lowry if they were to trade him in the offseason? Because he is going to be a free agent, I think.
I feel like he's getting up there in age, so his value might like decrease a little bit.
Right.
But you could probably get like a couple solid first round picks and then maybe like just a couple young players. It's going to be tough to call.
Hear
They're in
me
like
out.
the Raptors are in a weird spot in the standings right now too, because like you can't tell if they're like pretenders or contenders.
Exactly. I think they're going to be like an 8 seed or maybe in the play-in tournament. But hear me out on this. What are the chances a Kyle Lowry for Kemba Walker trade happens in the offseason?
I don't know, man. I could honestly see that though.
Like Kemba in a first and maybe a young player and then Kyle Lowry for Kyle Lowry. Because in my opinion, Lowry's a
It could
little
happen.
I just think Lowry plays like some good defense too, which I mean, Kemba's physical, but I just think it's kind of hard. I mean, they're both small guards. I
Do you
just think,
have Lowry over Kemba in your point guard ranking video?
yeah, I did. I think I had Lowry at 5, 6 or 5. No, 5. And I had Kemba at 8. But also, what hurts Kemba right now is that he's not playing well too. And Lowry's been like playing pretty well this season. So I don't know. They're somewhat like equal players. I think Kyle Lowry just has like the grit a little more, where he's like hustler and can defend a little better than Kemba. So some other small trades that we haven't really touched on yet. 76ers got George Hill. It's kind of like provides them some solid guard depth and more shooting too.
Yeah,
Do
that made sense to them.
you
Yeah, that
think
makes sense.
do you think that's gonna impact them at all? Like,
They maybe, honestly, they might start to win some more games with him off the bench. I'm not really sure who it was before after Simmons. I guess it was Shake Milton.
yeah, Milton. They had like Seth Curry and Danny Green.
Maybe Milton will like embrace more like the shooting guard type of role off the bench with
Mhm.
George Hill at the point guard. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think that they have like very solid depth now. Like Dwight Howard's like putting in some good work for them too. I don't know. I just think the Sixers are like in it to win it this year. If Joel Embiid can be healthy, then they're a legit threat. Like I don't know. For some reason, they always lost in the playoffs, even though they had like good players in their team. Like they had Butler and Harris. I always forget about Tobias Harris too, but They're very solid.
Yeah, dude, Tobias, he had a good game last night. Last night of the day we're recording this.
Oh yeah. What did you? Who were they? Who did they play? The Lakers,
They
right?
were against the LeBron-less Lakers. Simmons shot like 1 for 7.
Oh really? Did you take any threes?
Actually, yeah, he did. It was at the buzzer though. It was
Uh,
like a legit like good look though.
did he miss it?
Yeah, it just
Oh man.
it's horrible.
Oh man. Another low key deal that you kind of touched upon a little bit earlier is Rondo going to the Clippers. Do you think that he's the answer at their point guard position? Because I know they were looking at bigger names like Lowry and Lonzo, but just with him at point guard, are the Clippers like a legit threat out west?
I think that Rondo provides a lot to the table, honestly. Like once again, I know I've said this a million times, but just his leadership
Right.
is a lot better than Lou Will's. And I know Pat Bev is like a good lockdown defender, but I don't think he's like a quality starting option for the Clippers. And yeah, maybe Rondo will just jump right into that starting role.
Yeah, I don't know.
See how he reacts.
That's a good point. I don't know if I'm underrating Rondo, but I just feel like how much more can he really do than like Reggie Jackson and like the combination of Reggie Jackson and Patrick Beverly. You know what I mean? Because like obviously sorry, the leadership is gonna be there, but I just like in terms of a skill set, like the passing is there, but I just don't know like what much more he can really do for the Clippers. Like I don't know. I just don't see it as that big of a pickup in my opinion. I don't. I mean, I could be like he can prove me completely wrong, and I like Rondo. Like being a Celtics fan, I'm high on him. I just don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I just agree with everything you said. I guess like the Clippers, I can't tell if they're like legit or not come playoffs. I mean, we know what happened last year with the blown 3-1.
Yeah,
So could that be repeating? Do you think?
I don't know. It's tough. I think they're gonna be they're gonna really like push it in the playoffs. Like I don't know if they took their foot off the gas or what happened. Like they kind of let the lead like get to their head a little bit. Who knows? So I think they're bound for conference finals this year. Like
Dude,
obviously
it's tough. I don't know.
you have the Suns and Jazz who are like the 1 and 2 seed who are definitely making the playoffs. But I just don't know if they're like the teams that will make it to the conference finals. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
just can't see them beating LeBron and AD or even Kawhi
Yeah.
and Paul George in a 7 game series. It all depends on what version of Paul George we get too.
Oh man, that's gonna be a fun one to watch.
Yeah,
Hey, come playoff time, we'll see what guys pop out and which ones start to slump because
true.
playoffs is make or break.
Exactly. So also another thing was that there were a few other small trades that
All right,
made
yeah, let's recap this.
that had definitely had some impact on some teams. We had Torrey Craig going to the Suns from the Bucks, and then PJ Tucker going to the Bucks. So, like PJ Tucker, we know. I think I was watching the Celtics versus Bucks the other night, and I think they were saying PJ Tucker has made the most corner threes in the league like the past few seasons. I don't know if that's true, but he's a good defender too, which any team could have like could use him like someone for Giannis to drive and kick out to. I don't know. What's your take on that trade?
I mean, Tucker, he's also getting up there in age,
Mm-hmm.
and I still don't forgive the Rockets for what they did putting him at center.
Yeah,
And I think that his role is much, much different on this Bucks team because I mean, with guys like Brooke Lopez and Bobby Portis that they have that are obviously like made to be centers that aren't
right.
6'5".
Exactly. No, Bobby Portis is so underrated. He had like 20 something points, like 7 for 10. He can
Oh, he
shoot
had a good
threes.
game, yeah.
I would love to see him on the Celtics. And then Torrey Craig going to the Suns. I think he was on the Nuggets last season. He was kind of like an underrated like bench piece, kind of good defender and hustler too. And then another deal that happened was the Spurs got Marquise Chris as well from the Warriors. And yeah, speaking of the Spurs, Aldridge is getting, as we said before, he's getting bought out and most likely to land with the Heat. So I'm assuming this kind of means the Spurs are finally embracing the rebuild.
It's
And
like they're kind of weird. Like I'll give you a comparison here. They're like the Miami Dolphins of the NBA. where you're kind of contending but also rebuilding at the same time, because they are currently the 8th seed.
That's true. It was kind of like the Thunder last year, where it's like Chris Paul was like taking them so far, and it's kind of like DeRozan is how far
Yeah.
is he going to take them? I feel like it's kind of like that story. But do you know, is DeRozan a free agent this coming off season?
I would have to double check. I'm not sure about that.
He might have an option to like become one too. Maybe he's like a restricted free agent or something. But because I know he popped up in some trade rumors. He's a player I'd love to see on the Celtics though. He could help them out. He's a good playmaker.
Yeah, hopefully we could free up some cap this space and maybe make a run at one of those guys.
I know,
Would be
I would love
nice.
that. So yeah, we touched on Andre Drummond, and
Did we miss any?
I think we covered all the trades. If there's anything else you want to talk about in the NBA, like you got any playoff predictions, like award predictions, like anything you want to cover?
No, I'm all good, man.
All right.
You got any last things you want to touch on?
No, I think I'm all good too.
All right. Well, I got people calling my phone right now. I'm a very highly praised general manager in fantasy football, and
Oh,
like I'm
really?
surprised they haven't called yet, and because this podcast would be broken right now because
That's
I'm
so
using my
funny.
phone to record this.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
like look at this. I got all these messages right here.
Oh wait, it's
You're
not
not gonna be
showing
able to see
up.
it, but that was on my iPad.
Oh, that's
But
funny.
it's just, yeah, I'm gonna go have to take care of business.
All right, sounds good. Yo, this concludes the first episode of the Crunch Time podcast. Be sure to subscribe to this channel as well as mine, Riverside's channel. And yeah, be on the lookout for more podcasts. Peace out.